Sir, this is a private office building. You need to leave now. Two security guards stepped in front of the elevator. The man stopped without protest. He stood calmly, holding a worn canvas bag. His coat was old, hanging loosely on a frame thinned by illness. His shoes were worn thin at the soles. There was a quiet scent about him, antiseptic and long hospital nights. "I'm here for the board meeting on the 32nd floor," he said evenly. "I have every right to be here." One of the guards laughed. "With that outfit, you smell like a hospital. Your shoes have holes. We're not stupid." Phones came out. December boredom met cruelty. Someone snickered loudly. "Yo, look at this, a homeless guy who thinks he's a shareholder." This was the main lobby of Cole Group in Midtown Manhattan. No one there recognized the man they were mocking. His name was Gabriel Cole. 20 years earlier, he had built this company from nothing, brick by brick, failure by failure. He still owned 60% of it, but illness had thinned him. Chemotherapy had taken his hair, his weight, and much of his strength. Time had changed his face enough that even the guards in his own building no longer knew him. Then, Vanessa Hart, the current CEO, approached. Her heels clicked sharply against the floor, each step confident, rehearsed, detached. She looked him up and down with visible disgust. "Get this man out of here," she said. "If he takes one more step, call the police. We don't need someone like that contaminating our building." Someone like that. The word settled heavily in Gabriel's mind. December had a way of making truth echo longer. The crowd watched. No one intervened. No one questioned it. Not until a soft but steady voice broke through the silence. "Wait! Stop!" A young woman pushed forward. She wore an intern badge that looked too big for her coat. Her name read Keisha Miller. Her hands trembled, but she didn't step back. "The way you're treating him is wrong," she said. "He's a human being, not trash." Vanessa turned sharply. "Keisha, you're fired. Security, escort her and this man out of the building." Keisha didn't argue. She didn't apologize. Instead, she walked directly to Gabriel. "Sir, are you okay?" It was the first time all day anyone had asked. "I'm fine, thank you." Gabriel reached into his coat and pulled out his phone. "Danny," he said calmly, "tell the board I'll be 5 minutes late and have legal bring the documents down to the lobby." A few minutes passed. Then the elevator chimed. The chairman of the board stepped out. So did the chief legal officer. "Mr. Cole," the chairman said, relief clear in his voice, "we've been waiting for you." If this story moved you, don't let it stop here. Subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Like the video to support the message, and share it with someone who still believes character matters more than appearances. Turn on the notification bell so you're the first to see important videos like this. The lobby froze. Phones stopped recording. Laughter vanished. Vanessa's face drained of color. The legal officer handed Gabriel his badge. He clipped it onto his coat, right over his heart, and slowly looked around the room. "First," he said, his voice steady, "we're going to fix one thing." He turned to Keisha. "The woman you just fired is now my executive assistant. The papers in her hand are her new contract and her raise." Then he faced Vanessa. "Second, as majority shareholder, effective immediately, you are removed as CEO of Cole Group." A phone slipped from someone's hand and shattered against the floor. Gabriel spoke one last time. His voice was low, carrying the weight of a man who knew power in sickness, respect, and invisibility. "The way you treat the people you think are unimportant tells me everything I need to know about whether you deserve power." He paused. "Don't forget, the nobody you humiliate today might be the same hand signing your paycheck." Outside, December moved on, cold, honest, unimpressed by titles or position. And somewhere in Midtown Manhattan, a company built on judgment, character finally mattered more than clothes. Silence filled the lobby. Not the ordinary kind, the heavy kind that presses against the chest when truth arrives uninvited. No one moved, no one spoke. The polished marble floor reflected faces frozen in shock, embarrassment, and fear. Vanessa Hart stood rigid, her confidence draining by the second. Just minutes earlier, she had commanded the room. Now she looked smaller, exposed. "This is highly inappropriate," she finally said, forcing her voice steady. "You can't do this in the lobby." Gabriel Cole didn't raise his voice. "I already did," he replied. The chairman gestured towards the elevator. "Let's continue upstairs." As the doors closed, the weight of what had just happened followed them up. The boardroom. The boardroom was warm, expensive, insulated from the cold December air outside. Long glass windows overlooked Manhattan, glowing with end-of-year lights. Around the table sat executives who had built careers believing power would always protect them. Gabriel took his seat at the head of the table. For the first time that morning, everyone saw him clearly. Not the coat, not the shoes, the man. "Before we proceed," Gabriel said, his voice steady, "there's something we need to address." Vanessa sat stiffly, hands clenched beneath the table. "For 20 years, this company has talked about values, integrity, leadership, culture." He paused, letting the words settle. "Today, I watched those values collapse in under 5 minutes." No one interrupted him. "I watched an intern risk her job to do the right thing, and I watched executives, people trusted with authority, stay silent." He turned to Keisha, who stood near the wall still holding the documents she hadn't fully processed yet. "Keisha Miller showed more leadership in the lobby than this board has shown all year." Several members looked down. Then Gabriel faced Vanessa. "You didn't just insult a man today. You showed how you see people who can't offer you anything." Vanessa opened her mouth to respond, but the chairman raised a hand. "This decision stands," he said firmly. Vanessa's career built on image and control ended without applause. Aftermath. Security escorted Vanessa out, not roughly but unmistakably. The same hallway, the same elevator. This time, no one laughed. Down in the lobby, employees watched quietly as the doors closed behind her. Keisha stood beside Gabriel. "I didn't expect any of this," she said softly. Gabriel smiled just slightly. "Neither did I," he replied. "But character has a way of revealing itself when it's tested." He handed her the contract again. "You didn't stand up for me today. You stood up for who you are. Don't ever lose that." Outside, the city moved on. People hurried through storefronts glowing with December lights, unaware that power had shifted quietly inside a glass building behind them. Inside Cole Group, policies would change, leadership would change, but more importantly, people would remember. Because the man they mocked that morning didn't just reclaim his company. He reminded everyone watching that how you treat people when you think no one important is watching tells the whole story. By the time the news reached the upper floors, the building felt different. Not louder, quieter. Emails stopped mid-sentence, conversations trailed off. The name Gabriel Cole moved through the halls like a realization no one wanted to admit out loud. The founder was back. A shift in power. That afternoon, Gabriel remained in the boardroom long after the meeting ended. One by one, executives were called in, not to be scolded, but to be evaluated. Some spoke confidently, some stumbled, some avoided eye contact entirely. Gabriel listened more than he talked. He asked simple questions. How do people get treated when they can't offer you anything? What happens when someone disagrees with you? Who feels safe speaking up in this company, and who doesn't? The answers told him everything. By the end of the day, changes were already in motion. Leadership roles reassigned, policies rewritten. A new code of conduct circulated company-wide before sunset. It wasn't revenge, it was correction. Keisha's first day. The next morning, Keisha arrived early. She wore the same modest clothes, the same intern badge, though now it felt symbolic rather than necessary. Her new office was small but sunlit, overlooking the city she once rushed through unnoticed. Gabriel handed her a notebook. "Your job," he said gently, "isn't to protect me." She looked confused. "It's to tell me the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, especially then." Keisha nodded. She understood. Leadership wasn't about authority, it was about responsibility. The lobby revisited. A week later, Gabriel walked through the lobby again. Same marble floors, same glass walls, same elevator. But the energy had changed. Security stood straighter. Employees made eye contact. Not out of fear, but respect. No phones came out. No whispers followed.
The guards who laughed that morning now nodded politely, not because of his badge, because they knew. A quiet lesson. Gabriel paused near the elevator and looked around once more. "People think power announces itself," he said later that day to the board. "It comes with noise, confidence, and certainty." He shook his head. "Real power is revealed in restraint, in how you treat someone who can't do anything for you." He didn't mention clothes, he didn't mention titles. He didn't need to. Outside. December continued on, cold, honest, unimpressed by wealth or position. People hurried through the city carrying their own assumptions, their own judgments. Some would never learn the lesson, but some would. Because somewhere in Midtown Manhattan, inside a building once ruled by appearances, a quiet truth had been restored. Character outlasts image. Kindness outlives authority. And the people you overlook today may be the ones who decide your tomorrow.